Good afternoon. I'm calling this meeting to order. Welcome to Sedro Woolley Rotary, the best Rotary club in the... Today's invocation will be with Chris Johnston.
Thank you. Good and gracious Lord, we come to you in fellowship and gratitude. We express our gratitude for the weather, we express our gratitude for one another, and we express our gratitude for the good work that this Rotary Club does in our community. And we ask that your blessings come upon the projects that we review today, and that they will become part of our community for many years to come. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please join us in the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And today's song is with David Bricka.
Thank you, President Ruth. If you pull up your song sheets and look at number 6, we're kind of starting our Rotary year. I want to thank Louie, who did the great tribute to Norm Curtis last week. So we're gonna sing number 6, and let's get going. God bless our Rotary, God save our Rotary through all the years. May fellowship increase, may service never cease, till the whole world has peace, freedom, all fear. Giver of all things good, we thank thee for this food with one accord. Lead us, we humbly pray, onward in Rotary's way of service day by day, most gracious Lord.
All right, you may be seated, everyone. All right, besides anniversaries, do we have any visitors today?
Stand up John Dugal, recently of the coast of Mississippi, but was a long-term doctor in Sedro Woolley and member of Rotary for years. Welcome back, John.
Welcome. Right behind you.
And I have my 2 boys with me, Cameron and Grady.
Welcome.
And I have his wife with me, I guess. Welcome, Sarah.
Anniversaries. Christine has a hooper.
I have with me, he's so excited to be here. He could hardly contain his excitement. I have Cooper with me today.
Hello, everybody. I brought with me the new superintendent of Mount Vernon School District, Dr. Victor Vergara.
Welcome. And we already let him know that any club he joins in Mount Vernon will be second best. Mm-hmm. All right, and do we have any visiting Rotarians out there? No? Okay. So one of my goals this year is to do a little more fellowship during our meetings. And so I'm going to take 3 minutes of our meeting up front. We'll see how it goes. If you hate it, just tell me. We don't have to be stuck with anything. It's Rotary. But I'm hoping that you can discuss these kind of fun questions amongst yourselves at your table and take about 3 minutes to answer each week's question. And then if you have a real good, entertaining answer to some of them each week, we'll share. If you don't have anything that's really funny, we'll not share. So the question this week to discuss with your table for 3 minutes or online in the chat for those on Zoom, what's the most unusual food you've ever tried? And I kind of think Miriam's going to win this. Okay, so we had some really fun ones at my table, and Lynn's going to take the microphone around really fast and see if anyone can top ours.
Well, I think we frightened Miriam when we were talking about Rocky Mountain oysters, any other farm-related food. I had something that was supposed to have been monkey from a street vendor in Thailand or Philippines. There had been some alcohol involved. I'm not exactly sure what it was or where it was, but and squirrel, Ruth, really?
Yeah. Hey, if you're from the South, you've eaten squirrel. Yeah. I'm just saying.
All right, I'm going to get these guys. They've probably eaten something.
Lutefisk.
All right, there we go.
Oh.
Becky?
Well, I haven't done this. A friend of mine did, and Miriam might know this. Balut. Miriam can explain that.
She keeps putting food in her mouth as soon as we start asking her to speak up. So I don't know that she's gonna explain anything. We had frog legs brought up at our table. I never ate them, but I did help harpoon the little green suckers for my stepdad. I forgot gut stew. Anybody ever have gut stew? That's all of the organ meat from the small animals that my stepdad would kill. He would throw them in a bowl like chili and then try to get a bunch of grade school kids to eat it, and he was unsuccessful. Jeff?
First, when I was in China, I ate something that purported to be goat, but I'm not entirely sure. But I actually once got some cougar meat from Janicki on a raffle here, and we turned that into stew for the Apple Cup. So that was kind of fun. It took my sister a long time to like render it down because it was like so lean. But yeah, so I've had cougar.
Well, that brings up something interesting. How many have eaten something that Mike has cooked here? Mike Janicki's cooked here for bingo. We've ate something weird. We just don't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
This table?
Me and Chris have eaten bugs, and then I ate camel when I was in Saudi Arabia. I didn't think it was camel, then I found out it was camel.
It's like eating a horse with a hump. Come on. All right. You got something weird? Yeah. No? Nothing? Hey, no. Okay, this table, they actually are pleading the fifth. They don't want to confess.
I think mac and cheese is probably the weirdest thing those boys have eaten. So yeah.
That's not weird. That's a food staple.
I've actually had whale blubber.
Oh.
And it is disgusting.
Well, back on the farm, we did cut our own cows, and Rocky Mountain oysters were on the menu that night. Yeah, delish.
My dad, when we did the Rocky Mountain oysters, he ate them, but he couldn't get any of his kids to do it. But then he also tried to feed us brains too. I just wouldn't do it. I'm a little bit pickier eater.
And that was before Mad Cow, so probably a good choice.
Yeah, probably a safe option.
Yeah.
All right, that's got this one done.
All right. Hey, thanks, Lynn. So on to club business. I know Chris wants to make an announcement about the concert series.
Well, first and foremost, I was not expecting that big of a turnout for our very first concert last Sunday. It was absolutely amazing. I want to thank Teak for coming down. Carl was there too, talking about what Rotary is and Rotary International and some of the international projects. I did throw out a couple of little brochures in a trifold that we put together that we've been handing out to the community when they come up to us and talk to us and ask us what Rotary is. We got Troy Fair, so if you want to hear some country music this Sunday, please come on down. You can help sell some raffle tickets. Otherwise, just bring a lawn chair down, sit with us under the blue canopies and tell stories about your time with Rotary. It was really fun. We've got a Central Skagit Library that's going to come down and do some activities with the kids. We've got Rotaract there doing hula hoops and bubbles and all the stuff that my sister wasn't able to do this summer. We got some great vendors, beer garden, great music. We've got, just to let you guys know too, that the big Sedro Woolley Summer Concerts banner and the big gears, the wheels all over the park really, really stood out, and we represented Rotary really well. So if you do come down, make sure you wear the swag, show off that you're part of Rotary, and that's what the theme and what we want to share with the community. So come on down 6 to 8 this Sunday. It's going to be a great show. And the tacos and the nachos were freaking amazing too. So
can we give Chris a hand? She's put all this together, did a lot of work. I know everybody that's been on a committee in Rotary knows that somebody does all the work anyway. But I think Chris has been carrying the load on this. Thank you, Chris.
And then I forgot to go back to our Zoomers, Travis Heisman, Gator, escargot, caviar, nothing too out of the ordinary. Kate, I can't remember if I've tried Gator, but I've seen it on menus. And of course, Mary Crandall has to be the wet blanket and say, this is the best lunchtime conversation ever. So apparently not so appetizing. You're welcome. All right. So any other club announcements from anyone on the floor? Nope. Okay. Next week's program will be talking about the FFA and 4-H market projects for the fair, but our very own Steve Dahl has some handouts that he would love his boys to take around about the livestock market and maybe say a few words.
Okay, I left them in the truck.
Okay. He'll grab them after the fact if you're interested.
There's some stuff for the full 4-H and FFA. Come support them at the Skagit County Fair. I believe all the turned animals, which you could learn about next week. are being purchased by the food bank. So Becky's working on that. I'll have Cameron go grab some stuff, and we'll leave them out on the front there. I think they're early leavers, but I can answer some questions for them if they need to.
And Wendy can answer them next week too. So, all right. And that leaves us with anniversaries. And July is always a big month. Thank you, Yulia.
Thank you so much. It's so delightful to have so many anniversaries. I think it's one of our biggest months, right? We have one in the winter somewhere as well because of the holidays. But today we have 9 couples celebrating their anniversaries. And we have, let me give you some names that I already have. So Rod and Victoria Hall, so that's one. And they were not able to make it because of work commitments. Josh and Amy Requa might still be joining us a little bit later. And Stephanie and Greg Backmeyer, I am not seeing them unless I am just completely losing my eyesight. All right, and we have, that leaves us with 6, if my math is right, with representatives of those we have today. I'm gonna start with our own president, Ruth Richardson and Vince. And please, you have the mic already. Would you like Vince to say a few words instead of you? You do all the talking most of the time.
Yes, I would. I want to hear all about our sparking days.
Fair. And today, I would love for you guys to start with the date when you got married. And if there's anything special that had you pick that particular date or whatnot.
Okay, yeah. We got married July 6th in Fruitland, Idaho. We wanted to marry on the 4th, but that day was taken at the park we wanted. Ruth had forgot how hot it was in Fruitland, Idaho in July. So it was 108 degrees for an outdoor wedding. So the tuxedo was
a little warm,
and it was just a hot day. We should have. That would have been a smart move.
He would have liked that.
I know. Exactly. So 22 years later, we're still hot. So there you go.
Oh, isn't that just the best speech ever? Thank you so much, Vince. And happy anniversary. Look, Ruth is still hot. Yes.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Warm up here.
Thank you so much. Well, that was something. Sorry, I don't know if you can match that, Steve. Steve and Sarah are here as a whole family today with Cameron and Grady. We are just delighted to have you guys join. Thank you so very much. Well, your dad has something to say.
Maybe. Yeah. Sarah and I got married on July 19th, which is conveniently the same date as her birthday in October. So I only have to remember the month twice. I'm good. We've been married for 16 years. And yeah. Anything else Sarah wants to say? Well, I don't know if I should.
I'll just say a little funny. Monday night, I said, what are we doing on Friday? What do you mean? Okay. So.
I hope that, oh, you already have that. Happy anniversary, you guys. Boys, how are you celebrating your mom and dad's anniversary? Are you going to draw something? Are you going to, what's in your mind?
I forgot all about it.
Oh my goodness. There is some repair to do there.
They're going to be left home alone.
Thank you so much. Well, we've got quite a few people at this table, and that's how I picked them, right? So David and Michael Bricker, I'm sure they have something to say.
Oh, something to say. So I want to reference the foundation that I got a lot of my support from with my late mother and father. They met and married in July 1955, and 37 days after they met, they were married at the Community Congregational Church in Pullman. I met this guy on July 7th, 2002, coincidentally, the day after the Richardsons got married in Idaho. How crazy is that? We were down in Seattle at the Timberline. We had to wait over 4,000 days to get married, which turned out to be exactly 11 years. We got married on the 11th anniversary of the day we met, right around the same time at Maple Hall in LaConner. It was a powerful, wonderful ceremony. We spent those 11 years fighting for our right to marry, which was a long, arduous route, and we're happily married. We just celebrated our 11th anniversary of actually being married on the 7th. And Bronte, our sweet Bronte, was 11 when she was our flower girl. How crazy is that? So 11's a big, big number. We're grateful for all the love and support we've gotten from all of you people here. And we're just having a great life. Michael's retired, and he's got spreadsheets on the garden on what he's weeding today. And he wore long pants. What's up with that? So we're happily, joyfully in love.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Adrian and Pamela Santangelo. Tell us about your date and anything you would like to add.
Alrighty. Well, we met on July 25th. We're married. I'll get you a chance to talk in a second. We met on July 25th, 2003. Married July 25th, 2004. Actually, one of our good stories is when I first met her, our first date lasted about 10 days. Ended up driving her back from where I met her. We met my parents, all kinds of stuff. So it was a good time. Yeah, it was a great wedding. Weather was perfect. We had a great time. We now have 2 wonderful children, one going to college, one entering high school. And it's been good times. But I want to let Pamela share a little story about our wedding.
Okay, so we got married at Bowman Bay. And the day before, when we were setting everything up, was the hottest day on record at that point in time. Of course, we've had hotter days since. But then after the ceremony and during the reception, at one point, we jumped into the water. So I may have been officially the first bride to trash her dress before it was a trend. And I don't know if that's true or not. But we have some great pictures of us in the water with our bridal party. It was pretty fun.
Thank you.
Party. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much for making it here today. I know it's hard to kind of juggle schedules and coordinate. Thank you. And I'm moving to the next couple. We have Steve and Rhonda today. Thank you so much for being here, Rhonda.
Yep. On the 24th, it'll be 31 years. And we have a daughter that's 27, and our son is 29 and married, and our grandson is 10 months old. So fun.
We need pictures. We need pictures of the grandson. Yeah, well, I'll see you after the meeting then. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we've got the rose. Thank you. We've got one more representative and anniversary couples here at this table, Mike and Ellen.
Yeah, so Ellen couldn't be here today. She's going down to pick up our son, Daniel, and his partner. We're going to head up to Jasper, Alberta tomorrow for a vacation, so we got some happy bucks for that too, Lynn. But so it's been 8 years married, July 30th. We got married. I think it's called Maplewood Farms. Maplehurst. Thank you, David. I knew you would remember. Yeah. So
we won't let Ellen know that you forgot.
You please don't. Okay. So anyway, it's been. Hi, honey. So yeah. So been great. So thanks.
Thank you. Hopefully the rose will make up for some of that. Thank you so much. I think those are all the anniversaries we have. Did I miss someone? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all the spouses that were able to make it to the meeting. Thank you so much. It's very special to have Cameron and Grady joining us today as well. That always is a cool thing. And of course, even though it's not anniversary, it's awesome to have, oh, why the name is slipping me.
I like to call him Hooper, but it's really Cooper.
It is Cooper. Okay. Well, I remember Cooper running around when we were having our work party at the property. So we will always remember your contribution. Thank you so much. The pavement looks great. And happy anniversary to all. Enjoy your summer. Thank you. Oh, forgot. We have 2 roses then because the other couples didn't make it to the end of the anniversary part. Can we please?
Oh, Teak wants to buy one, I think. And Chris, all right. Teak.
Thank you.
All right. I think we have a raffle now.
There we go. There you go. Okay. We're going to do 3 today, Don? 3 or 4? 4. 4. First number, 45. Travis. Can't say that now, can't you? North Cascade Quick Lube. We'll get that to you. Second number, 10.
Woo. Yes.
Vince.
Yes. Vince, you can.
Come on, you hot boy.
Don't break the wheel spinning it, dear.
What does it say? Swap. Cool surprise. Well, Steve, what is it? Okay. Next number is 4. Plain old 4. There you go, Rhonda. Come on. Yeah. You're coming. You're coming. Take the wine for your anniversary. Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. Beer. Spin it again. She's not a beer drinker. Give her $25 for a rent. She's good. Okay. Third time's the charm. Winner pays $2. The last number is 58.
Sometimes you should just take the wine.
Yeah. And there goes, oh, the big Rainiers. All right.
All right, now we have Sergeant at Arms with Lynn Tucker.
All right, I got my my hired muscle here to collect money. So first off, if you have not been to the summer concert series, that's going to be $1. If you could throw that on the table. And going to do this, we're going to zoom through this real quick. This should be easy for some of these tables, maybe a little bit more difficult for others. I went through the slang dictionary after trying to decipher some of the stuff that I was seeing on Instagram and Facebook, and some of the stuff was being, some of the words were being used, didn't make any sense. So I did a little looking up. So for this table right here, you're going to pay anyway, so just give it a shot. Okay, the first word is Riz. This isn't a spelling bee. I'm not going to use it in context or anything like that. So Riz. Yep. She got it. That'll be $1 because she jumped in on there without even, she's at our table. So that'll only be $1, but I do have one other one.
6th grade teachers know everything.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say skibbity doo, but I didn't. We didn't do skibby. How about bougie?
That's fancy.
Bougie or bougie. Pretty. It is. It is. We don't have to pay because you got both of them right. It's high class, rich, fancy, bourgeois.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for this table, bussin'. Bussin'. It isn't about people getting on a little yellow thing going around town, but bussin'. We going with kissing? Well, it depends on how good you are at it, but it's really, really good. These fries are bussin'. So that'll be $1. And one more for this one. Okay, the other one is delulu. The word delulu. Any other words? Bill's saying fancy. All right, it's delusional. Short for delusional. That's why I had to look all this up. I didn't know. All right, let's see. This table here, finna. 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 F-I-N-N-A. What, who, where? Finish? Nope. I'm fixing to. I'm finning to collect $1 from each one of you. Yeah. Okay, and one more. Girl dinner. And it's nothing weird or naughty or anything, but girl dinner. I'll give you that one. Except for it's a dinner you put together without having to cook and whatever you grab out of the fridge, cabinet, counter. Yeah. So yeah, charcuterie was one of the examples. Okay, for this table right here, IRL. Got it. Good job. And for not giving everybody else a chance, you owe $1. Okay. I'll give you another one you probably know. Left on read. Okay, exactly right. The rest of you $1. Jeff's immune from this second $1. Okay. This one here, beige flag. Beige flag. Beige flag. Well, that's pretty close. I was going to use David as an example. His beige flag is his cougar stuff. It's not a red flag. It's not a green flag because it's a bit much from coming from David, but it's kind of right in the middle. It's right in the middle. It is who he is. That's your beige flag. There you go. All right. All right. Okay, I got one more here. I got to find for one more for this group. Okay, I kept hearing this on Instagram. For this table, Roman Empire. The Roman Empire. What's your Roman Empire? All over the place. So, is it the thing you're going to die on? Sword you're going to fall on? Well, it's a little bit easier than that. It's what women have discovered about men is they have these thoughts that go in their head that why would you be thinking about that? Where did that come from? It's kind of like Okay, guys, can we just kind of basically put our brain on hold and just let it wander off on its own? That's Roman Empire. Nope. Looked it up, and I see it online all the time. So, all right, let's get $1 for that one. And for this table, vibe check. Vibe check. Vibe check. That's pretty much it right there. Vibe check. The standard of vibe someone or something has to pass. So if my wife says, "Do you like the color I picked for the dining room?" It's yes. It doesn't matter if I do or not. Just pass it. It's paint. That's all I cared about. And one last thing, FOMO. FOMO. Fear of missing out. Okay, you guys all owe $1. That's it.
All right, happy bucks.
Oh yeah, happy bucks. Travis, were you?
I got a happy 20. I got my second one married off on Saturday. We were in Idaho. It was beautiful. It was really hot, but it's just a beautiful setting at her in-laws' place, in-laws' farm. And just a quick funny story, just to warn you all. So we decided to come back through Canada, just a different drive, because we were literally 10 minutes from the border where this wedding was. So we took Canada all the way to just above Curlew and came back into the States, and just a little tiny border crossing. Well, my son had picked up, I'm an archery shooter, so he picked up a 3D archery target for me, and it was in the back of our car. Of course, they ask you to roll down your rear windows if they're tinted. So I roll this down, and this guy's looking at this 3D archery target, and he asked me all these questions about it. And he was pretty bothered by this 3D archery target. He thought he was going to have to take it away from me. I don't know why, but so anyway, we made it through. But if you're going to go across the border, maybe don't take a 3D archery target.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your hand. Thanks, sir.
We got back from a trip as well, headed over to northern Italy and Switzerland, dodged a bullet. It was flooding before we got there, and they've had some crazy thunderstorms after we left, but snuck a quick trip in and back home, and weather is nice here too.
All right, and some great pictures, by the way. I've got a happy 20, and I'm going to make Joe Ellen pay for half of that. She and I are featured on the front page of the Scottsdale Valley Herald today. We're checking out one of the Kinsey prints that we acquired out at Country Meadow Village. And accompanying that is a great, amazing article by the illustrious Vince Richardson. Vince, thanks so much for the great article and for being there. If you have a moment, come out and take a look at these Kinsey prints. They're stunning. They're amazing. We're just so thrilled to have them and to be a part of the satellite branch of the Sedro Woolley Museum. It's really, really a neat partnership that we've got with the museum. We've been partnered since 2011. So thank you, Vince.
I'm just giving away the rest of what I got in my pocket for, thank you all for helping out with the concert series. So.
I got a happy 20, just it's good to be back. I know it's been a while and I get in here when I can. So thanks for having me back.
The song of my people.
I have a happy 5. My oldest son, Nash, their 9, 10, 11 all-star team won the championship this past weekend, 16-2 against South Woodby. So tomorrow we head to Richland for the state tournament. We played Liberty Lake in our first game on Saturday, and it's supposed to be about 108 degrees. So.
Anyone else?
All right, let's move it along. We're running behind schedule, but that's okay. Because the great thing about the projects this year is we're giving away a lot and we still have more to give. And I think that's the best news we've had in a while. Lynn and Christine, could you do me a favor and pass those out to the tables? So I hope oh yeah. And if you need to leave, don't feel bad. You can leave. It's okay. You also should have all received a link last night late with all this information. So it shouldn't be a surprise. Also, I've heard that some of you aren't receiving the bulletins that I send out. So they are in your spam filter most of the time if you look for them. So I'll try to kind of alternate and use the email center in Club Runner and the bulletin. So you'll get the information and it's not hidden away anywhere. Also, the bulletin is always on the Club Runner website if you want to click on it and see what the most recent one is. So great news. Our amazing treasurer, Steve, we have $250,000 that the board has set aside for community projects. And our goal this year is to make the money rain and to make the magic happen. And so if you go through, if you go through these, you'll see that we've kind of spread it out amongst a lot of different organizations and groups. And I just wanted to kind of have you go through it. Let me know if you have any red flags. I'll just read through it. I have to take my glasses off to see this because it's in tiny print. So we'll just go through it unless there's concerns about something, or if you want to have a talk, we'll just keep going. So give a yell or a wave, and Christine or Lynn will see you because you're all a blur to me right now. Okay, so Helping Hands Food Bank. So they do the weekend backpacks for Chow. And I think we all know what that is, and we've donated to it in the past. So we set aside a suggested donation of $10,000. And there's also always the monthly work parties, and that's on the third Thursday of each month. That I'd really encourage you to go if you have time, bringing the kids if they are able to. I know I've only been able to make one because I'm out of town a lot on Saturdays for some reason, but it was so much fun. And I'd really encourage you to go and help. And Rotaract is there usually on that same, I don't know why it says third Saturday of each month. So if you get a chance to go, I'm assuming most people are okay with that. So I'm going to keep reading. If anyone has an objection, wave your hand. Also, the shower trailer, you'll see that parked on State Street during the week. I think it comes to Sedro Woolley. Rebecca, is it about once a week it comes here and allows people to shower? And there's other things on board as well for our unhoused individuals to use and to hopefully not feel so abandoned. So I think that's good. And Rotary helped fund the trailer originally. All of the clubs in Skagit County did actually. So air hockey table for the Boys and Girls Club. I reached out to Christina and I said, dream big. And that was her dream big. So that always, it's always impressive when people, to me, that's a pretty small ask. And I said, well, dream a little bigger. And she's like, well, we always need more supplies. And so I didn't tell her, I just put $1,000 in there because kids are really important to our future and they learn a lot of things there. So, and it's one of the few places where the school buses will go before and after school, and it saves a lot of parents, a lot of working parents in our community. Any thoughts? Okay. Skagit Trail Builders. Again, I just think they have done an incredible amount of work out at Northern State. The trails they have been building with all volunteers is incredible. I talked to the gentleman out there and they acted so shocked when I approached them. I think they'd be happy with anything. So I was thinking $1,000 to help buy any supplies they need. And I'd love for us all to try to show up and do a work party. They have them, it's every Saturday in the fall, I think, or second Saturday in the fall. Every 2 weeks? Okay. So anyway, I just think it's a great thing, and it's bringing a lot of people to the Northern State recreation area, which is definitely has always been a focus of our club. Let's see. The elementary schools, we're kind of veering away from the dictionaries because the dictionaries are becoming harder and harder to find. So we thought we'd give each school $500 to buy books. Some schools, booster clubs, have already purchased a book vending machine and they use it as a rewards-based system. So the kids will get a token and they go down and they get to get a book out of the vending machine. So I'm hoping if we can make this a thing that maybe more of the booster clubs can purchase the vending machines and make it possible for more kids to develop a love of reading. Okay. Oh, Steve. Yes, we are doing dictionaries this year as well and that's in a different fund already, but they are definitely phasing them out. Christine? Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyone else? And we are doing dictionaries this year because we said in the auction very specifically that we are doing dictionaries, and I don't want anyone to ever say you didn't do something that you said you were going to do there. Let's see. I'd like to donate $1,000 to the band and orchestra program at the high school. And Rick Limley actually asked a really good question beforehand because we've done this before. And basically, we bought instruments so that kids whose parents can't afford to rent one or buy one can still have a chance to be part of those programs. And I actually went in and kind of did, the undercover boss where they don't know why you're asking. And I asked to see the instruments. And because I was a very new member around 20 years ago when we donated funds for the instruments for those programs. And so I kind of wanted to see, are they taking good care of them? They looked brand new. And so that I want to spend our money with people that take care of stuff. And I was really happy to see that. So any questions there, Chris?
If there's any interest in actually obtaining used instruments offline, I mean, I do it all the time and I donate the instruments that I can to students that don't have one, like trumpets and saxophones and clarinets. But I mean, if that's something that we want to get involved in the school too, I'd be more than happy to step in and help find those used instruments. I'm also a repair tech on woodwinds, so I can help restore some of them for the schools.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. So along with that, oh, Carl.
Oh, it might be good. On that note, it might be good to put the word out that if you have any old instruments, we should round them up, and maybe then we don't even need to make a monetary donation. We can make a better donation with instruments. And I happen to have a very nice trumpet that doesn't get much use anymore, and I might just throw that in there.
Okay.
Well, where were you when I was looking for a trumpet for Reagan?
Okay, and then same thing with the CMS because they're two separate programs, and at least how it worked at my school growing up is once you got an instrument, you kind of it followed you all the way through to your senior year. So it would be good if they are starting to help it follow too. And then State Street, it is amazing. Christine, Lynn, and I went over. They have a music studio at State Street High School. And I put it in here. I'd really like, we have the kids from the main high school come and perform. At State Street's graduation, they have a little band and they play and they sing. And I thought it would be really neat to have those kids walk over and do a program and talk about their music program too, because I don't think a lot of people in our community even know that they have their little music studio and they're really proud of it. And anyway, so I just want to keep it going because out of all the kids in all of our schools, those kids need to have a reason to come to school. And I mentioned this installation, but partner with the Wildcat Steelhead Club to build a floating dock at Thompson Pond for the youth to use fishing. And we'd also want to help construct it, build it. They have a ton of volunteers that are interested in it. They're super excited to partner with us. They even said, we don't need any credit at all. You guys take all the credit. They're so excited about the opportunity. So, and Nathan and their president, they're looking into all the specs and everything from the city of Sedro Woolley. So to me, that's kind of a no-brainer because so many youth use that little pond up there to fish. So, let's see. And this, I don't know if this will happen this year. It's on the list. We'll see how soon they start construction up at Olmsted Park on North Fruitdale. But I was thinking if they build something similar out there to these shelters, I know they have a different design. They're all going to have the red roofs, I believe. But I just wanted to kind of have it set aside if they do break ground, that we could have it on our list. And if not, we can roll that over and talk about it next year when Lynn's president. And Ellen Schweiger, the director of the senior center over here and a longtime Rotarian, I called her and asked her to dream big as well. And was really excited because she'd been trying to get funding for a bocce court, bocce ball, and it would cost about $3,000. And she also would love our help with some of the construction of it. And it wouldn't be just for the seniors. It would be for anyone who wants to play. They would have the equipment to check out at the senior center during the day. Let's see, Little League backstop. Lynn is still getting costs on this. I put $5,000 in for a holding until we can get a final number, because I Googled it, because that's what you do when you're trying to see if something costs. And it seemed like the pre-built ones were around $4,500. So we'll see what they actually cost. And Lynn, which backstop is it that they're wanting to replace? Do you know the specifics of that? No. Okay. So this is probably the most exciting thing. So last night, before I sent this out, I had a brilliant idea. We have a very underutilized committee that meets every Tuesday morning at Bonnie Joe's, the Rusty Zippers. And I thought to myself, Ruth, you're busy and you can't do everything. Lynn's retired and we are going to drive around and try to take an inventory. But let's be honest, it was going to be hard. And I was like, the Rusty Zippers. So I would like to put the Rusty Zipper Committee officially on the Rotary map, even with the non-Rotarians that attend, and have you guys go around and review some of our past projects and see if any of them need some TLC. Because we all know that we fund these projects over the years and then the paint fades, the stain fades, something gets broken. I'd like to make sure that over the years, we try to also go back and help fix them up so they don't become ugly and unsafe in some cases. And this is just a holder place too for the, we'll put placards on any of the projects that we can, just to make sure that people know that we helped, and for past projects as well. If any of them don't have the Mark of Excellence, we need to make sure that it's on there. One thing that's really important to the Tesrick family and our club is the Tesrick baseball field down at Metcalf Park by City Hall. Our club built that a few years back, and they have tournaments in there in the summer. It was looking a little downtrodden at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the spring. And so I'd love to see this as a member. I'd love to see us do this every spring, is to go in, make sure that everything, the landscaping looks nice, everything's cleaned up. And then also if they need new bark or they need whatever, that we chip in some money and make that happen. And John Mattern could probably talk a lot about this because I have a feeling he knows way more about the historical cabin than he ever wanted to, because his wife is very heavily involved in the restoration of this through the Clear Lake Historical Society. I know that we have several Rotarians that have been invited to be part of this rebuild committee. I think Mark Nielsen and Christine and Lynn have been suckered in. Sylvia is a good salesperson. So I wanted to donate some funding there. and see if we can help them in any way we can, because I think it's a great thing. And John, do you have any more information?
So we're currently in the stage of, we're going to put the cabin together where it is on John and Katie Janicki's property, and then take it apart and take it down to where it's going to be installed and put it back together all, you know, fairly quickly, so we don't have stolen timbers like we ran into several years ago. But they're actually starting the process of cutting the dovetail joints and cutting the logs to size, and they were getting started with that this morning. So yeah, it's coming along.
Awesome. And again, you know, they may not need all of the 7,500, they'll let us know, but I just think it's a great project. History is super important to all of us, and it disappears way too easily. This was already approved, so I'm just going to keep on going over it. We had Cascadia Clubhouse. They came and gave a presentation. It was they meet over at the Hillcrest Park, and they help, you know, the young adults who age out of the school system at 21, 22, and don't have any peer network support or any support outside of their family, any social interactions. It was a very touching program, and they sent in a letter asking for support to buy supplies. And I just think that who could say no to that? It's a great cause. And yeah. Sedro Woolley Rodeo. So Doug finally got me the project this morning. He said it's not a real glamorous project. It's behind the scenes, but it's definitely becoming a safety concern. The pins behind the chutes, a lot of them are rotting out. I think they're either or rusting out if they're made of metal. And he said for the safety of the participants, the safety of the livestock, they need to replace those big metal chutes. Yeah, and if you guys need to leave, it's okay. Don't hurt my, yeah, thanks. Let's see. So he asked for, it's a $40,000 project, and he asked for $20,000. So. Okay. Okay. Maybe people are just intoxicated enough that they don't notice it as much. But yeah, that's something definitely to add to the list. Yes. Whoever you are, I think it's Travis. You're really blurry. I can't see without my glasses. Speak really loud so you can see.
So my question, a couple questions. One is, we have more money to spend. I don't know if I heard you say how much. And then the second thought is, so for a project like this where, you know, is there anything on this list where they're getting 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, where it would be better to give them 10,000? Any of these projects that we should just up instead of looking for more projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's definitely, it's not my money. So if anyone wants to give more, I just was trying to kind of spread the money out. We had $250,000 set aside. We have more than that in our account. But that's what we thought would be a good spend, and then still leave a cushion for Lynn's year next year after the auction.
I assume this doesn't include international, right?
It does not include international. That's a separate fund.
And I've been working on a donation to the Rascal Rodeo for special needs people, and I'm still working on that. So that's a $5,000 ask.
Yeah,
roughly.
And I think there's definitely room. We were, with all of the projects here, we were at 214,300 last night when I added those up. So I'll add that to the list, Carl.
Just a quick question. What's the best way to make a recommendation or request if you're looking for additional projects?
Well, I've been emailing out and having people text or email me back. So just send me the information. And if it's coming from a Rotarian, I'm not going to be too worried about a formal process. I want to keep a running list so we can all have visibility of it, so we know where we're at throughout the year, and the board knows where we're at, because most of us in this room have served on the board, and you know how many random requests you get throughout the year. So it's good to hold a little bit back. We still have the president's discretionary fund. I think that's at 5,000. So we still have money for the smaller asks that we'll get. But I don't mind having a little cushion, but I want to spend some money. I want to do some good because it's been a while since we've done a lot. Okay. Now I have to take off my glasses. So the veterans stand down. We all of us that were here for that presentation will know what that is, but they rent the buildings at the Skagit County Fair, and they serve over 350 Skagit County veterans. And they need the funding so they can have the resources there available. Becky has more information, and Chris Diaz from the Skagit County Veterans Association does as well. But to me, my dad was a veteran. I think the more we can help, the better, because a lot of our veterans need extra resources. Let's see, Lyman. So Lyman Booster Club, they asked, they have their playground. It's so close to being done. It looks amazing. Their Booster Club did an incredible job raising the money. Their final phase, they just need more chips. And as we know from past playground, those are not cheap. And so they requested $5,500 to complete that playground. And to me, that's a no-brainer, and an easy request to fulfill. The Sedro Woolley High School Baseball Booster Club. Apparently before Rob Davies passed away, unbeknownst to anyone else, he did some work that wasn't really well thought out to the bullpen areas. They're a real mess, and it's a real struggle for our parents and to clean it up for each season. So they basically want to pour some concrete and add some artificial turf so it just lasts for as long as possible. And then the Booster Club would be responsible for replacing the artificial turf 15 years down the road, I'm assuming. And let's see, Cascade Middle School, several Rotarians have been on this email chain that work at the middle school. The project itself will be around $50,000. They asked for $10,000, but we have a little extra money. So I wanted to keep it kind of on par with what we're giving to the others. So I said 17.5 for that. The kids get to 7th grade and everyone used to think they're 7th graders. They don't need a recess. Those kids still need a recess. So, at lunch, they go out on this courtyard. It's like a prison yard. It's not an enjoyable environment, and they're bored. And it would be really nice to, I remember when my kids went through that school, it needs some TLC. And the guy who proposed it actually has no tie to the school at all. He just saw what a horrible situation it was. And he actually has been pestering them and me with many, many emails over the past 6 months. So Clear Lake Elementary School, TEEKS, family is involved with this. Christina Martin has been advocating for a covered play area. Their Booster Club has been very actively fundraising, and they will be happy with any amount of money. But again, I was trying to play fair, so I put 17.5 down for that one. Big Lake Elementary School, Bob and Becky Gates Outdoor Learning Center. Danny has been very, very involved in fundraising for that. They've fundraised $23,000 so far, and they have a grant opportunity. So I also proposed 17.5 for that. And then Central Elementary School, Matt Mihalik covered play area. When Matt passed away, the Booster Club decided to try to fundraise in his name because they would like to name it the Matt Mihalik covered playground area. And they fundraised a lot. They actually asked us for 150,000 and we all laughed. But I think the 17.5 just to keep it equal. And then we'll see how much Joe Ellen comes up with. We told her that we wanted to donate to the museum, and she said, "Oh, how about an HVAC system?" We were like, "Maybe you're dreaming a little too big." So we've asked her to come up with something that we could help the museum with around $10,000. So again, we won't move forward without touching base, but I wanted to have a placeholder on the running list just so we don't drop it. And then Rascal Rodeo, I added that to the list, and we're way past time. So I don't want to prolong it anymore, but I would entertain a motion if you're happy with this list for us to move forward. So moved.
Really important to have a champion for each one. Most of them, you're going to get what? I think we should postpone it for a week or two until take charge of each one. I second that.
Okay, so the question has been called. Give me 1 second. Christine, did you have a?
I think we should review a few of them and see if there's more that we can give them to.
Okay.
As well.
All right, so I will open up the spreadsheet, and I would love for you to let me know if you're interested in being the sponsor, the Rotary sponsor. And I love that idea because it will be overwhelming. And I was planning to do that after the fact. So that's fine with me. So, all right, well then we will table this discussion, and I'll reach out and we'll get sponsors for all the projects, and we'll move forward that way. All right. Everyone, tables and chairs can stay up. Thank you.